everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Elon Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host.
Nicholas DePasco. Every week, we'll make sure you're caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week, we're reviewing Scream 7, one of last weekend's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, what's poppin'? Where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. What's up, guys? How are you doing? We apologize for the episode coming out a little bit later. Life has just been a little hectic, but it's all right. We keep on pushing,
Yes,
and we
sir.
want this episode to be as good as possible for you guys because it is a big one for us. It's Scream 7.
It's a stinky one. Oh, right. Stinky good, not stinky bad. I don't know what I meant by that. Never mind. Continue.
All right. So let's start with the box office for the weekend. In total, this weekend brought in 110.9 million, which is up 50% from this same last weekend, this time last year, and up 33% from last weekend. At number one is Scream 7. It opened at 64.1 million domestic, and a global total of 92.7 on only a budget of 45 million. That's a good thing about these Scream movies is that they are very, very cheap to make. Scream 7 blew past its initial tracking of only 40 to 55 million, which makes it a franchise best opening, even topping the previous best, which was Scream 6, which only had a 44.4 million, and it is the biggest February horror debut ever. So that
Cool.
is, yeah, 40% of that comes from premium formats, including the first time that the franchise is ever being shown in IMAX. So
Really?
I
Neat.
wonder if it being shown on IMAX had anything to do with it.
Yeah, that could be something. I think it's also just like, the Scream franchise is so long. I saw a tweet that was like, and I think I said this too, it was like, lived long enough to see Scream become Stab. And I was like, yeah, I mean, after that many movies, like you kind of garner a pretty big fan base. I was surprised when I guess we'll talk about this more when we're actually reviewing the film, but when I went to see the theater, like I was surprised at how much like people like got like some references and just like chitter chatter about like certain like, oh, I hope this character shows up. And I'm like, I didn't know these were people actually like watched all of these or consistently
Dude,
like
they're
how you do.
gas. They're gas. They're
It's
gas.
gas. It's gas.
um, okay, so number two is Goat in its third week, pulling 12 million domestically, which only is a 29% drop from last week, which is really cool. Which brings its global total to 130.5 million on its $80 million budget, which is really cool. And in third place is Wuthering Heights, which brought in 6.95 domestic this weekend, which was a 50% drop. And it brings the global total to 192 mil on an $80 million budget. So there's that. Let me see if there's anything else interesting here. The movie that we reviewed last week, How to Make a Killing, it dropped 55%. It's in ninth place this week, which is unfortunate. And Zootopia 2 is in 10th place, so it's finally losing steam and not as high up because it was like high up in the box office for like the past. This is week 14, and it's still in the top 10, which is really impressive. Globally, it's at 1.86 billion.
Tough. It's
Um,
insane.
Overall, this year is running 9% ahead of 2025. And then next week is both Hoppers and The Bride, so it should be a pretty big weekend for the box office. All right, so this weekend we had the SAG After Awards, or the newly renamed Actor Awards, take place.
How do you feel about that
And
name, by the way?
sorry.
How do you feel about the name The Actor Awards?
I heard somebody call it. It makes it sound like a fake award now, like a
Yeah.
and like yeah, because the actors is like one of the biggest sectors of the like Oscar voting, so it's a
Yeah.
very like good indicator on like the awards in that sense.
I didn't think about it like that. That's very interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. But I
Yeah,
agree. Like, none of the other award shows are called like the music awards, the movie awards. Like, it just sounds lame and it sounds fake. and it sounds like whatever. Yeah, but
Yeah,
continue on.
yeah. Also, not it wasn't just the actor, the SAG awards. It was also the producer, the PGA awards, the Producers Guild, this weekend as well.
See, like the SAG-AFTRA awards,
So
I can fuck with that. I can get down with that.
yeah. So here's the thing. Uh, One battle after another dominated the PGA like awards, but Sinners dominated the actor awards. So it's still
Hmm.
really neck and neck between those two. One battle after another, like I said, one PGA, which is another huge predictor for Best Picture. It uses
Hmm.
a ranked choice voting system, which is the same as the Oscars use. Um, but Sinners won the Ensemble Award at the Actor Awards, and also Michael B. Jordan won for Best Actor, which is a really big win, which is really, really cool for him. That would be a really cool pick for him to win Best Actor. I would really fuck with that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Jessie Buckley won Best Actress. That's like 100% guarantee she's getting that Oscar. Um, Oscar voting is officially open right now. Ballots are being filled out this week. So if anything crazy is going to change with the outcome, it would be now. So we're very close to the Oscars, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward
I
to
was gonna
them
ask you, yeah, when are the Oscars again?
next weekend, I believe.
March 15th,
Yeah, next
which
weekend.
is next Sunday. No, not next weekend. Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah, next Sunday, March 14th, March 15th.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay. So yeah, very cool. We
Have
have
you seen?
some pretty
Sorry,
big. Go
have
ahead.
you seen all the films yet nominated?
I have to see Blue Moon. I have to see Train Dreams, and I think that's it.
Nice. Oh, yeah. I still have to see a few as well.
Yeah.
Which
So
one?
yeah,
Yeah, continue.
Paramount is acquiring Warner Bros. Essentially, Netflix has declined the offer to match Paramount's $31 a share bid. Their max was $27.75 a share. Um, Netflix had 4 days to respond or like battle the offer. They didn't even like use the that time window. They
Mm-hmm.
just they just rejected it. They like the CEO Sarandos said that the deal only made sense at the right price. Um, he went on to say that matching Paramount made it no longer financially attractive. Those are his words. It's essentially to him, it's a nice to have. Like acquiring Warner Bros. Was like nice to have, but it wasn't. We must have it essentially, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Netflix stock dropped 30% once the merger was like announced. Once people started thinking that Netflix was going to acquire Paramount, Netflix was going to acquire Warner Bros. But the stock jumped back up after they said that pretty much they didn't want to do that anymore. Um, Obviously, this is going to take a lot of time to go into effect. These big, uh, what are they called? These big acquisitions typically do, but we'll see. Paramount's offer all together is $111 billion, and eventually they plan to combine Paramount Plus and HBO Max into a single streaming service. So, yeah,
Worst
that's pretty.
UI imaginable, right there. The
So yeah,
worst app layout of all time.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be, it's sad. I mean, I really do think it's sad, especially
It's bad.
considering
I yeah.
some of the uh, funds being given to Paramount for this deal to be made are like Middle Eastern, or like, just external countries that could have like other influences, whether it be, whatever it might be. Like, uh, it really goes to show how much potential influence could be really put into our films with such a big deal going on. It's just really sad. I
Yeah.
also just think on an artistic level, Paramount just isn't on that level. Like they don't care like that. Paramount has always been not as artistically inclined as the other studio, as Warner Brothers at least, or as Netflix. So that part really is tragic. Yeah.
Yeah. It Paramount definitely is not the best way to go, but I don't know. That's the thing is like we were also so sure that Netflix was gonna buy Warner Bros. So we really don't know. It's very like up in the air these things. So
Hmm.
I think just let's just see how it plays out. I
I heard
guess.
a yeah, like I heard a leaked call from the CEO of David Zaslav where he said it might happen. I think it was a meeting towards like other Warner Brothers employees. He was like it might happen, it might not happen. If it doesn't happen, then we get $7 billion out of it. So it seems
Yeah,
that even internally they don't really want it as well.
they don't really
I think they
care.
really
It seems they don't really care.
no, I don't know if I agree with that. I do think because I think because remember when Netflix was wanted, you know, when the original feud between Paramount and Netflix was happening, um Netflix was offering less money or Paramount was offering more money, but they still went ahead with Netflix. I do think internally, or I'd like to think at least internally, there is some sort of there is people who care about like the actual dignity of the company, but I think also Paramount just raised the price to an impossible level, like literally a deal they cannot refuse. So, especially considering all the debt Warner Brothers is in, they're like I wish I could give you a number, but they're in an incredible amount of debt to the point where like yeah, like being acquired by Paramount would basically solve all their problems. So yeah, all of that is really tragic.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's how I feel.
it it does suck. It really does suck.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I don't really have any other news that I. Oh, actually, I do. Me and Nick were kind of discussing this a little bit off camera, but I want to keep talking about it because I think it's really fun. The Scary Movie 6 trailer dropped, attached to Scream 7, and I told Nick this already, but I have to repeat it. It is very slowly, very quickly becoming uh, one of my most anticipated films of next year, of this year. Sorry, I am so excited for for this movie. I think it looks so funny. Nick, what did you have a favorite bit that you saw in the trailer? Like what movie parody are you most excited for? Like, I'm curious.
um there was one. What was the one like right before the sinking chair scene? What was the scene right before that in the trailer? I remember for some reason not the sinking chair scene itself, but the scene before that, if that
Was it
makes
Long
sense.
Legs? Was it long the guy from Scary Movie 2?
Maybe. I don't know. To be honest, oh, you know what? Maybe weapons. I'm excited to see what they do with weapons. I
Run,
think that's gonna be
bitch,
cool.
run!
I just think honestly, I am excited for like a movie that just doesn't take itself seriously at all. Like I said to you earlier, I think Marlon Wayans is funny. Some of the jokes in this trailer are really trite. Like you know the pronoun jokes, but I feel like the pronoun jokes and like all like the cancel culture jokes. I that's the only thing I'm gonna say is a little gets me a little iffy about it. Is just not necessarily that the fact that they're commenting on it, but more of a just I just don't think it's funny. Like
Hmm.
it just seems like such 2020 humor, like 2020 2021, like and I guess it is still a thing for some people, but I think if they just completely lean into it and just make every single joke possible, to an extent, I think that could work. I think it can be just so stupid to horseshoe around being funny.
Hmm.
Um, which is kind of how these scary movies tend to go. So I'm not surprised. I just, I'm just a little disappointed in the fact that like that's kind of the point because even Marlon Wayans in interviews has said like this movie is supposed to cancel culture, and I'm like, that's so not a good funny. That's like not funny. Like it's not a good stupid. It's just stupid for the sake of like you think you're making a point when it's not really a thing that exists, and it's just another thing. I don't know. I have a lot of weird separate thoughts about that, but point is, I just really hope this movie is funny, and I don't. Yeah, that's it. And I think it is funny. There are scenes that like that I do like. I think the fucking I don't know, fucking the substance scene I also like a lot
Yeah,
too,
the
where it's like the
substance scene is
stuff.
looks really funny. The Sinners parody looks great. The Terrifier bit, like making
Why do
fun
they
of
have to?
the what's it called? The making fun of the mall scene.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
like the Santa mall scene was awesome. Uh, I love Cindy like parodying Jamie Lee
The
Curtis in
dildo fight
Halloween.
scene.
Yeah, that was great. I loved Anna Faris parodying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just great. It was
Hmm.
just. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, it's gonna be funny. I hope so.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about for what's pop before we move into what we watched?
Mm, no, I think I'm good off that.
Okay. So, I'm gonna be honest. I did just start a new job this week, so I didn't really have time to watch too much. One thing I have been rewatching is BoJack Horseman. I'm in season 5 right now. I've been, watching it in any free time I can. Nick, you've seen BoJack, right?
Yeah, sparsely. I have seen the whole thing, but I watched it like when it was coming out, so I was like really young, so I don't remember a lot of it. But
Yeah, it
from
it
what I do
holds
remember, I
up.
really
It's
like it.
so good. It's so good. The jokes are so well. It's so well written. I'm gonna be honest. The only reason why I rewatched it is because I saw this TikTok that was like, if BoJack Horseman was like live action and not with animals, it would go down in history as like one of the best shows of all time. And I was like, huh, was it that good? And then I
I
rewatched it, and I'm rewatching. I'm like, huh, maybe. Um,
hmm
yeah, it's just great. Like it's so funny. Like I love all the characters. The voice acting is it's so well performed. I love the animation. Like the animal puns are great. Um, and yeah, like it's just awesome. I would recommend
I
you giving it another chance.
oh yeah, for sure. I literally a few maybe weeks ago, I didn't start watching BoJack Horseman, but I started getting a lot of BoJack Horseman recap videos on my YouTube feed, and I just started watching a
Hmm.
bunch of them, and I think it really highlights something great about the show, which is the like writing, and moreover like the how they write characters and how those characters like interact with each other, like the dynamics of it. Also writing like bad, quote unquote, bad people, or more just to be more specific, like BoJack. Um, I think is just I think is incredible. Like I think, and I don't mean bad people as like a judgment thing. Moreover, just like objectively, like through his actions, that's what he is. Quote unquote, I guess. But the way that the show manages to humanize him and like others in the show, while also like making fun of them, while also being like funny and having all the uh, animal puns, and also with the animation being so limited, like you can tell like it's like very cheaply made, but it's still really well executed. Um, at least emotionally speaking, like yeah, like BoJack Horseman's great, bro. It's a golden of all time. I could see why they said, even though I don't like the act like, oh, if it was live action, it'd be the light, because I think it's great it being what it is, like animation more and
No,
also
yeah,
animals.
yeah. It's just like a hypothetical. Like if it was,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So yeah,
What do you
Nick,
like
what
about?
have
What are you
you?
liking about? What?
Oh,
Wait, can I
go ahead.
ask you? What do you
Yeah.
like about rewatching BoJack Horseman a lot?
I feel like I definitely understand a lot more of the jokes just because like I've learned more about like because it's very like bringing up like culture and stuff, like cultural stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like references, and I just like
Mm-hmm.
lived more life. since I last seen it, so I just get more of the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've really grown fond of Will Art. His name is Will Arnett, right? Yeah, Will Arnett.
Yeah.
And I just really am appreciating his voice performance this time around. Like I just watched the Free Churro episode, and it's literally a 26-minute monologue, and the time flies by so quickly. He delivers it so well and interestingly. And obviously, that's kudos to the writer as well. It's both uh, factors at play, but it's just a great show. I'm having a great time with it.
I'm glad. Maybe I should give it a rewatch.
Yeah. I will say I did skip season one just because I remember I'm really not liking season one when I first watched it, and I didn't want to sit through it, so I skipped season one.
Valid.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So I watched this week a weird little movie called Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
It's it's starring Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson, Javier Bardem, and Penelope Cruz, and it was directed by Woody Allen, controversial figure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I was just I saw like clips of this film. I was like, this looks like a weird little movie, and I watched it. It was. I'm not. I don't. It was interesting. I wouldn't say it was necessarily good. It was weird. It was. I don't. It's kind of hard to. I mean, essentially, what happens is just like, this guy goes up to two like American women, and then and asks him if he wants to like stay over, and then like they
Uh
end
huh.
up like going on like a little, what is it, like Spanish, that's where they are, right? Yeah, on like a Spanish, because they're in Spain, on a Spanish like voyage, and then one of them ends up staying with a guy, but then that guy turns out to be um recently uh recently separated from his wife, and then his wife come back into the picture, and then it essentially becomes like a thruple story, weirdly enough. And
Interesting.
yeah, I just think it's a story that's like not really told normally or anything like that, which I appreciate. I think also Woody Allen, it being directed by Woody Allen, regardless of the person, and written also by Woody Allen, regardless of the person that he definitely has some talent in like capturing just weird social dynamics, and I guess capturing to put it in like weird terms, like the interesting things that love does to people.
Mm-hmm.
Um Regardless, I don't think as 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 a Hispanic person, hearing how Woody Allen, of a completely white person, like writes some of the dialogue, because the majority of this movie takes place in Barcelona. Um, and so I think I think as a Spanish person, like hearing how these people talk, it's like people don't really talk like that. So I think that's like really my only, not my only fault, because also some of the writing in English as well can feel very airy and very disjointed and just not natural at all, when it's just two like American people talking. So I just think of, you know, you kind of take the good with the bad with this film, because there are definitely good aspects of it. The story itself and how this relationship develops between them, and also with the original other woman in the, when I said that there was like two American women, how her like relationship follows. I think this whole film is like a very interesting perspective on just what it means to be like in a, what is the word I'm looking for, monogamous, versus, or essentially traditional values versus like other, versus like, life exploration and everything like that. Yeah, I don't know, it's just you take the good with the bad. You have some maybe poor dialogue, but then you get these interesting scenarios, and it feels almost kind of play like in that sense. Um, yeah, I don't know. Overall, if if uncommon romance movies are your vibe, because essentially that's what this is, then I'd say watch it. If you don't like people just talking and standing around and being like weird towards each other, then don't watch it. But yeah,
What brought you? What brought you to the to watch this film?
I think I saw a clip specifically of it was okay. Well, I guess if I guess I have to explain the movie a little bit. So I saw a clip of Javier Bardem eating dinner with Scarlett Johansson, which is his girlfriend in the movie. Um,
Hmm.
and while Penelope Cruz, his ex-wife in the movie, is arguing with him, and Scarlett Johansson's just like acting like normal. And Javier Bardem is arguing with his ex-wife, and they're all just like calling each other crazy. Um, which is also what surprised me about how this movie like turns. Like, I guess I did kind of spoil it a little bit, but I don't want to spoil it anymore in case you missed what I spoiled. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I saw that clip and I was like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? That people are just fucking screaming it and arguing towards each other. I will say some of the best written moments are moments in which I can tell that it's not written. It's purely improv between the two naturally Spanish speaking actors on set. I was like, dude, I think that's what got me was honestly their performances, and just like the weird scenario that was going on. I was like, I need to know what they're arguing about. I need to know what's going on in this fuck ass movie directed by Woody Allen of all people. And I can't say I regret watching it. I can't say I didn't enjoy my time with it. So yeah. And like I
Cool,
said,
cool,
it's an interesting perspective on that whole theme. So I think yeah, it was fun.
cool. So yeah, I wish I had another thing to talk about for what we watched, but instead, I guess I can kind of talk about the convention I went to this weekend.
Hell yeah.
I went to a convention called Scaredice. And I had an absolute blast. I went for all 3 days, and I met so many amazing like actors. I met Jack Quaid, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, David Arquette, who plays Dewey. It was so cool meeting the goat. I got them all to sign like my ghost face mask.
Hell yeah.
I met a bunch of other like cool actors. Um, I like asked them about like a bunch of advice and stuff. It was just really cool. Like I met Ashley from The Boys, Emma from Gen V. Who else is cool that I met? I'm
What's like a an interaction that sticks out in your head with any one of these people that you met?
Okay, that's actually a good question. I guess the one with like the actress who plays Emma from Gen V, just because
Yeah.
I asked her like how like it feels like going onto such
Oh.
like a crazy set like The Boys, and then she told
Mm-hmm.
me that like you just gotta go into it like with the same headspace you would go into like a student film. I'm like whatever. She just gave me like a bunch of advice, and then before I left, she was just like, oh, and like she was just like stick with it. Like that's so cool that you do that. Blah blah blah. Whatever. It was just pretty cool. I like getting advice from these people because they actually know what they're talking about. These are people that are actually successful
Yeah.
in what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And she seems like a cool person, just from her character in Gen V, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, no, it was really cool. I met Dead Meat, like the Kill Count YouTuber. That was so
Oh,
fucking
no
cool.
way.
Yeah.
I think his name is
Um,
Quinones something. Alex Quinones.
no, it's James A. Janice.
Oh, James A. Janice. Yeah, I confuse him with a lot of yeah, whatever. Yeah, him. I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was really fucking cool to meet. I love him. I met so I met the guy from Final Destination, like the most recent Final Destination, who has like my favorite kill. Like his death scene is like the most gnarly, and one of
Nice.
the most gnarly in all the movies. So it's cool to talk to him. It was just a cool because it's not like such a big convention. So like most of these people, like I kind of just like walked up to their table, maybe waited a few minutes, for a few other people to talk, and I would just, be able to talk to them, and it was just a cool time. I also met a bunch of people from the Scream 7 movie, but I don't want to talk about that because we'll get there when we talk about um, spoilers. But it was
All
cool
right, all
to
right,
like
all
watch the movie and then meet the cast like a day later.
right. Yeah, that must feel like some deja vu shit for real, or not even
Yeah,
that, like not necessarily, but you get what I mean.
yeah. And then the coolest thing, because obviously they have like a little like they have like the shops area, like where people like the vendors. The coolest stand, I'll just talk about the coolest stand that I found there
Hmm.
was this guy who essentially like loads like old like new movies onto VHS tapes and like makes custom VHS like covers and designs and whatever.
That's so
And like
dope.
I go up to him and I'm like, hey, like I'm like, do these actually work? He's like, are you a lawyer or a cop? I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, then yeah, they work. So he's definitely like just like pirating these tapes. But yeah, so now I officially have every Scream movie 1 through 6 on VHS,
That's
which I'm
so
really, which
dope.
I'm really really happy about. And like the tapes are all like custom designed. It's really cool. I got Scream 5 signed by Jack Quaid. Um, and then I got a tape that is a Terrifier double feature. It's Terrifier 1 and 2, which I just
Mm.
think is really cool to have on VHS.
You should like pre-order Scream 7 when that comes out on
Yeah,
digital.
and then I got his website, and he sells a
Hmm.
bunch on there. Like, just for context, the ones that they had for sale were like Sinners, Poor Things, Evil Dead, like a bunch of like cool ones. He even had like X-Men '97 season one. Uh, he had like Halloween Horror Nights 2025 like mixtape. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds really cool. Um, and he also does custom tapes, so I'm definitely going to be doing some custom tapes for him because I think that's just so sick.
That's so dope, man. You should send me his
Yeah,
website. I wanna see if I can find anything cool on
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's so many cool ones. And he has like different like covers for the ones, and it's just pretty sick. Okay, Nick, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
it. No, the only thing I will mention actually a new Gorillaz album released, and I'll talk about it a
Okay.
little bit more next week. But I would recommend the album. Eh, I thought it was okay. I'm a big fan of the Gorillaz, but the reason I'm mentioning it now, I guess, is because tomorrow I'm going to a special screening in the Alamo Draft House, where they're gonna show, because when they release the album, they also release like an 8-minute animated film of the Gorillaz in the new setting of the album, which is like in India, and it's on a mountain. So they released an 8-minute short film, and I have yet to see it because what they're doing at the Alma Draft House is for the next 4 weeks, they're having one character of the Gorillas pick a specific movie um, that character would want to watch, I guess, and then they're gonna premiere that movie,
Hmm.
and then before that they show the movie, they're gonna show the 8-minute film and a documentary about like the making of the album. So tomorrow I'm gonna watch. Let me pull this up real quickly. I think it was called Party Girl or Party Night, something like that. Give me 1 second. I wish I was more prepared for this.
You're good.
Um. Oh my god, why am I not getting this?
Take your time,
Wait,
buddy.
wait. Yeah, I know. My bad. I was just okay. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna watch Sweet Charity. Um, and apparently, oh my god, Russell picked this film. Russell is the drummer of the band, and I also expect to be watching another film in 2 weeks because I don't care about the one that Murdoch was picking. But yeah. So if you're in near somewhere or at the Alamo Draft House, I would recommend, and you're a fan of the Gorillas, I'd recommend looking into that and potentially watching one because I'm excited for what I'm going to watch tomorrow. I hope it's good.
Cool. Thank you for that recommendation. I'm gonna look into it. I don't really know much about the gorillas, but this does sound really like a pretty cool concept. I don't even have an Alamo next to me. I just want to look into it and just, like, I guess, learn the lore. I think it's pretty cool.
Honestly, Gorillas lore
Um,
goes deep, bro. You'll have fun.
yeah. Okay. So let's move into our review of Scream 7. Starting with a quick spoiler-free summary. When a new Ghostface killer emerges in the quiet town where Sydney has built a new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, she must face the horrors of her past to put an end to bloodshed once and for all. Um, I really had fun with this movie. Is it the best Scream movie? No, it's not. Is it bad? No, it's not. Um, People have not, just because of all the drama surrounding the film, people have not been giving it a fair chance. Like, people just walked into it not giving it a fair chance, which is why I think the reception is just so completely negative. I think I think the movie's really fun. I definitely has those my favorite kills of the franchise. I think the kills are so cool. I can't wait to talk about them in spoilers. Um, I really enjoyed what they did with Sydney's character. I like the dynamic between Sydney and Tatum, her daughter. I Even though we didn't get too much screen time with Tatum's friends, I did like the time that we got with them. I thought that they were pretty likable, and funny. I enjoy them. I think that the killer reveal is definitely the least like the worst part of the film, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about that more in spoilers. um but I don't know, I really like the way that they handled, like, Gail and Chad and Mindy. I Even though they didn't have much to do, I still liked having them in the film. I really liked Sydney's husband, played by Joe McHale. um I don't know, it's nice seeing, like, Sydney happy and, like, in a good place relatively, I guess, before obviously the events of the movie. But just seeing her, like, with a husband makes me really happy. Um, yeah, I'm curious. What did you think of Scream 7, Nick?
So yeah, I also had fun with it. I will say it's not my favorite Scream. It's the worst modern Scream, and by modern I mean after. I mean between 5, 6, and yeah, between 5 and 6 essentially. And
I agree with that. I definitely do agree with that for sure.
yeah, it's the worst modern Scream. But regardless, I did have fun with it. I was a big fan of the. Is this a spoiler? Actually, yeah, it is a spoiler, I guess. I think my issues with the film really come into the story of it all. Moreover, me not caring about the story of it all. Um, Moreover, the film not making me care. I do think there were several new interesting aspects, and like I said, or like you said, I do like that Sydney has like a happy ending, or she has like a family and she's happy. But I also feel like it's not a happy ending for her. I feel like they're gonna keep making these, and this is the most successful Scream that's ever existed. They're gonna keep having Sydney, and it really just goes down to the problem that I had to begin with, that I mentioned with Scream 5, and or not the problem with those films, but the reason I liked Scream 5 and 6 was that they really decreased Sydney's presence. And I don't maybe I am just a Sydney hater. I don't know. I enjoyed her story in this, but I really just don't think she's that interesting of a character. And moreover, she's invincible. Nothing. I feel no tension when it comes to her at all. I'm never in once do I think, and she doesn't feel any tension either. These characters are so confident during the whole film. Like even like Gail and Sydney, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna get this. We're just gonna get this person. I will say I do like how Gail's character's story ends up, where I don't know if this is a spoiler, so maybe I won't mention it. I will
Her
say,
entrance scene was so awesome. I don't know
oh, for
about you,
sure.
but I saw the film. I saw the film twice, and both theaters erupted in. I mean, the second one was obviously going to erupt in laughter. That was like a VIP Matthew Lillard Q&A screening full of
I see.
Scream fans, whatever.
Hmm.
But like the first time, like the theater wasn't too full, but I mean, everyone started clapping. That was so awesome.
That's so dope. Wait, you also saw this in theaters with Matthew Lillard, bro? That's sick as hell.
Yeah, I had a screening with a Q&A screening with Matthew Lillard. It was pretty fucking awesome.
Was that like connected? Yeah, that was connected with the
Yeah, it was like a separate
convention.
ticketed event,
Oh,
but
okay, okay, okay.
it was like done by the convention. Yeah,
That's so cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I also do think just in general this film depends a lot on the Scream history, and like there were moments where this is very much a movie for the fans. And I think that's why critics are not really liking this is because critics don't care about Scream. You know, they care about just quote unquote good filmmaking. I'm not gonna say this is
right.
bad filmmaking. There is really good like shots and really well made moments of like tension and just horror. Like this has some of the best kills. Genuinely, some of the best
Yeah,
directed kills I've ever seen. What can is that a spoiler? Yeah, that is a spoiler. Okay. Um, but yeah, like this movie is made like by not a fan because he's literally the creator. It's just made for the fans, and I really think that's that is both a detriment and a benefit. Um, but more overall a detriment. Yeah, I don't know. Those are kind of like my unspoiler thoughts, but as you can tell, you can I do have a lot of spoiler thoughts on this film. So
yeah.
I don't know
Let
if
me
you wanted to say
think
something.
if there's anything I want to mention that's not spoilery. I really liked that the victims were actually fighting back against Ghostface.
Yeah.
In this one, they didn't just kind of like die, like just let it happen. They were taking active um, steps in their safety, which I think is really cool. We didn't even talk about the opening scene. What did you think of the opening scene?
Honestly, I was really sad that they actually died. I was really into that couple. I was like, oh yeah, these are fun characters. I
I really
also
like that guy. I like the guy a lot. He was really cool. I like
yeah, I feel
like
like
the
I've
B
seen
and
him in
B,
something.
like the B&B house. When you think about it, which is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Like in that universe, like actual people died there. And I really like the line. I guess that's in spoilers. Let's just go into spoilers because I want to talk about this line. If you haven't seen the movie and you plan to, now's a good time to click off. I really like the line that the girl where he's like, "I was more of a stew guy myself. What about you?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I. What's my favorite like homicidal teenager? I don't know. Whatever." I thought that was really really funny. Um, I thought it was such a brutal kill. The guy like stabbed through the brain. From
Hmm.
that kill, I knew it was me. We were in for a treat. Burning down the Mocker house was really cool, just because that's like a location that's been in the franchise for so long. So much has gone down there.
Hmm.
It's cool that we got one last little thing, and let it be. I've seen people call that scene um, like not important or not connected to the rest of the film. I would say it's just as connected as any of the other openings are to the rest of the film. Um, I think that's a stupid like complaint to have personally.
Um, I'm trying to remember the other openings. I feel like a lot of times they're just like, oh, my friend died, right? Like that's kind of the consequences of
Yeah,
what happens in the opening.
yeah, it just to like startle them pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
guess on like that I don't know. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I would say that this opening works. It's because it's to really get Sydney's attention and to cast out of the bag to make her think that it's Stu Macher. Um, which, by the way, I'm really happy that Stu isn't actually alive. It would have been goofy for him to actually been alive, and this was a really, I think, a smart way to bring the character of Stu Macher back without actually ruining the ending of the first Scream film. Um,
Hmm.
I don't love the way that the scenes looked. Definitely could have been executed a little bit better, but I'm really happy that I didn't pull some bullshit that she was that he survived.
I will say the moment like where it's revealed to be like fake Stu Macher, where he's like, "I'm not hiding anymore," and then he like face like that. That went hard. I'm not gonna lie, that went
That
crazy.
was a great
That whole
moment.
like
It was a great moment. It was so
great.
good.
It was a
Matthew
great
Lillard
switch
was just
up to
so
like.
fun in the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also think it was just like
Yeah,
in general
he
like a great switch up, a great way for like this film to distinguish itself from the other films. Like, oh no, like even though it's technically not a real reveal, I was like, oh, that really got me into like got my seat in. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, was
Yeah,
sad
yeah,
after
yeah,
that.
yeah. It was just really cool. Like Matthew Lillard gives a really fun. He doesn't get much to do, but
Hmm.
he definitely soaks up all his screen time. It was just
Oh,
so
for
fun seeing
sure.
him play an older Stu. So obviously he's like not a teenager anymore. He's grown up, so he's more serious, but he still has that crazy like Stu-ness to him.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It was just really fun seeing Stu. Um, the kills. I thought the kills were awesome. I thought McKenna
Yeah, they were
Grace's
great.
kill was really, really cool. I thought I saw German's kill, who is from The Boys. I think he played Lucas. What is the character's name?
Yeah, I think from
Like
Lucas.
like the beard tap kill,
Yeah, yeah, I know
gnarly,
who you're talking about. It's great. It was that shit was great.
gnarly.
I would
Yeah.
say my favorite kill was the I think you might have said it, McKenna Grace's. The was that the one where
Yeah.
she was on the hanger?
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was
that
so
one
great. Where
that
she
one was
was
insane.
dangling and going
Hmm.
back and forth. It was just so brutal. Seeing the guts fall out. The CGI was a little wonky, but I just thought it still worked for me. I thought the chases in the film were really cool, from like the house sequence to like the stabbing through the wall sequence. All of that was all over the trailer.
Hmm.
To like using the security cameras to shoot. I thought that was all just such a cool way to bring Scream to the modern day. Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed the interview scene between Gail and Sydney. That was really cool, and something that I think is crazy that we haven't seen yet when you think about it.
Can I
But
ask you
I
something
think it's
about
cool
that
that,
scene?
yeah. Go ahead.
It seemed a little like I mean, it seemed a little unchar. Okay, I like that scene, but it seemed a little uncharacteristic from where Sydney and Gail's relationship is at that point. And I also don't like the fact that like afterwards Sydney was like, "Oh, actually I do trust you." When it was like, "No, Gail did a shitty thing on live TV." Gail asked intrusive questions and was not a was not a good friend, at least to Sydney in that moment on live TV. Just for her to be like excused, one, and two, to have really honestly no consequences. I I wish that scene had an actual impact on the rest of the film and not was just like an easily forgiven thing. I liked the scene. I liked the fact that those things being asked, and like that Gail. I like the beginning where she was like, where Sydney was like, "Are you please go? Are you gonna go easy on me?" And Gail's like, "No." I fuck with that. I fuck with that sort of energy, and I fuck with the fact that that scene was it had taken place. I just didn't really like how it ended up with, because it just felt like drama with no real impact
Hmm.
to me.
Yeah, I think these movies definitely don't know what to do with Gail, and they probably haven't for a while. Um, I I don't know. I'd like to see a Gale centered Scream film. I think that could be a very interesting way. Like, obviously, have Sydney and all that be still in the film, but have Gale
Hmm.
be who we really follow. I think that could be a really cool place um, to take the franchise. I actually want to talk about the killers with you. So it's revealed that there are three killers. One of them is like a nobody killer, which I think that they were trying to do like, oh, we're gonna kill off the killer midway through the movie, um, like idea, but they didn't want to fully commit to it, so they make him like a nobody. I think that could have been
Hmm.
interesting. They didn't really pull it off effectively. But then our two real killers are Ethan Embry playing Marco, which is like the psycho hospital guy, and Anna
Yeah.
Camp playing Jessica, um, Jessica Bowen, Sydney's neighbor and like good friend. I did know just because I was spoiled by leakers online that Anna Camp was the killer. I did not know who the other killer slash killers, if you consider the first guy a killer, which I guess he is, but whatever.
Was she in other
Um,
films? Jessica Camp?
huh?
Was she in other films? In other Scream films? Jessica Camp, you said that character
Mm,
was called?
Uh, no. It's Anna Camp. That's the
Oh, Anna
actress.
Camp. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And then the character's name is Jessica. I don't know what her last name is. But I actually really dug her motive. I really liked the she didn't care about like the Stab franchise. Like she's not obsessed with the Stab franchise how like Richie and Amber were in Scream 5. She was obsessed with Sydney herself.
But wait,
And she
what was
wanted
she?
to like
What other Scream film was she in?
she wasn't. This is her first it's the first time she's in a Scream film.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought I okay. But also, where else did she appear in the film? Other,
So
she was. I think she
that
was
is
with.
my that is the
Yeah.
biggest
Sorry.
issue with the film is
Hmm.
that we really don't spend time with these characters before they're revealed as Ghostface. So it's very clear that they're the Ghostfaces. I mean, Marco literally has one scene at the psycho hospital, and then that's it. And then Jessica, we see her towards the start of the film talking with Sydney in the coffee shop, and then after
Oh
Gail
yeah.
comes in, like after that, she hits the that guy,
Hmm.
and like all the police show up. She like comes with Lucas to like investigate. She's like, "Stay away from this house, whatever."
Yeah.
Those are her only scenes. So I do wish we got more time because I do think her performance is really cool. She really was a psycho, and she was really
Hmm.
fun. And like I said, I did like her monologue about like oh Pilates and where was I blah blah. I just thought it really worked. Um, yeah, I wish we saw more of their dynamic, like Sydney and her. It would have made the reveal stick even more. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like the reveal was completely airless, and I will say, it was my least favorite part of the film. Um, I really like her character. I agree. I think her monologue was great, and she does sell crazy really well. I think the whole time during the reveal, I was just confused as to why this character was so important to begin with. Like, I remember her during the. I didn't remember her in the beginning coffee shop scene. I remembered her when she was like talking to, or when she was talking to like Gail and saying like, "Don't come to this house." So then I guess I just assumed after that that she was like a legacy character that just like appeared in some like in the like maybe one or two and as like a friend of Sydney's. Um, and then, but now that you're telling me that she's not, I'm like, well, then it really was just a completely airless reveal. Like genuinely, I would have, it would have been more impactful if it was actually the boyfriend. And I'm also confused as to why they showed the boyfriend, her daughter's boyfriend, as
Mm-hmm.
like as like using deepfake technology, yet he wasn't the killer. I'm a little confused about that.
Yeah,
Just be,
they don't really fully they because he does die. They don't really fully go into it, but I think they just want us to believe that like he really just was testing it out to see if it was possible.
I think I feel this movie gives me heavy ending reshoots vibe.
Yeah,
Uh
I can see that.
I think the ending like completely switched up at some point, and they just had to go with that. Why? Who knows why? Um, but yeah,
It did.
it really does suck on that level.
Yeah, it did come out today that they shot an ending where Stu Macher was actually alive, but it didn't test well with test audiences. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Um, but I do think it is getting massively, massively overhated. People are saying it's like unwatchable, and that's just not true. It's very fun. It's nice to see the old characters again. There's some really fun kills. I do think one of Tatum's friends should have survived because every single one of her friends did die.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally, so sad.
and also Chad is
I
walking
will
a bit
say. Oh,
too
yeah,
good.
sorry.
I mean, he got like fucked, you know, in his in Scream 6 and in Scream 5, and he's not Dewey at least, had a limp, but Chad is just going along, chugging along.
I do really love the fact that they did bring back the characters from, or those two characters from Scream 6 and 5. It
Yeah,
was
they
really,
were
that
my
was
favorite
like my
ones
most
from that
hype moment of
movie.
the whole film. Yeah, for real, me too. Um, so
I thought they killed them. I was really scared.
yeah, that would have been bad. Yeah, I think I just I really just want this franchise to evolve away from these original characters. Um, which is why Screams 5 and 6 are my favorite of the franchise. Is because like, okay, we're actually stepping into new ground. We're doing something different. I think it keeping with uninteresting, to me at least, uninteresting Sydney, and also I mean, I actually like where Gail's character is at this point in the film. Like, she seemed to be like trying to get back on her feet, but she's also not okay about the whole Dewey thing, and she's also like taking drugs and just being really weird and also having nerve problems. I think, you know, the actions that have taken place in previous films actually catching up to these characters. That's an interesting point. That's something cool. The whole nerve damage thing, like, that's something that could be explored. How this whole, but I think this movie doesn't do that. It like mentions it here and there, but overall it doesn't really do anything different. It just chooses to make these characters either badass and kill the killer because that's what they're supposed to do, um, or it just like, or just doesn't mention it at all. And I really, I like that the fact that this movie does bring back like the energy that Scream has, like that really, it's fun. It's fun throughout. I had fun. I was
It's a
engaged.
very fun film. It's a very, very fun film.
It's a very fun film, but there are also like just so many aspects that it asks you to think about. The whole like um AI aspect of it. Not the fact that it uses it, like I don't care. Moreover, just like I don't think it was done very interestingly or well or like with a real purpose. Um I don't know. Just to bring back like old characters, I guess, but that feels like something that you would put in the movie to be in the trailers, not necessarily because it was actually supposed to be actually like a reason to be in the film. Other than maybe like a gimmick. I
Right.
do, I liked the fact that Stu was back, and I honestly wouldn't necessarily like. Listen, here's the thing, right? These characters have lived through so fucking much. How many times has Gail been stabbed? How many times has Sydney been stabbed? How many times have all of these people encountered a knife in the gut? At this point, I could buy that Stu actually survived and just didn't do something else. And
Dude,
once and I when I
he
thought
was
that was for the
stabbed multiple
character,
times, was bleeding out, and then a fucking old school CRT TV fell and smushed his face. He was electrocuted by it.
yeah, that's why he has facial scarring, silly. No, I mean, but like genuinely though, like I mean, would I have loved it? Would I have wanted that necessarily? No, I wouldn't have. I would have liked an originally like interesting character, an originally interesting killer character. But if the alternative is between Stu and the characters we did get, at least Stu would have had more impact and could have at least done something. These characters was just like so. you know, and it really is an issue of not having screen time, because like I said, I liked her motivations. I do like the fact that it was separated from the whole Stab franchise as well, and it was like, no, I was like, okay, cool, like we're not just treading on the same, you know, fact that this is like a big deal or not, or this is a big deal within the world of Scream. But yeah, I don't know. And also, at least like I like the scenes where Stu was on screen, because Matthew Lillard has such like an energy with the character. You know, if we could have that energy again, like it's something that the film needed towards the end, because I honestly, you know, it just went from, it just was too serious for me. It was like the ending was taking itself too seriously. It was having too much reverence
Mm-hmm.
for its own franchise of like, we're Scream. You know what I mean? When I'm like, these movies are silly. These movies are stupid, and that's okay. And like they know that. We need these movies to be silly again, while also taking themselves seriously, I suppose. But it was just so, I don't know. I really didn't fuck with the ending.
Yeah, I get that. Um,
I think
Let
my
me
favorite
see what else.
scene was the whole, you know, even though I am sad that like all of her friends died, because like they were interesting characters, I think my favorite scene was that whole like, you know, bar killing scene, because like, you know, it was fun. You know, he was being silly. He put the fucking kid's head on a beer spike and then put beer through it, dog. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
which is
That's
crazy
just,
when you realize that when that was his mother, that was his mom, and
yeah,
she
that's
did that. She gave the most brutal kill to her fucking kid. What a terrible asshole. He was too much like like his father. Jesus Christ.
That's so crazy. I actually didn't even realize that. That she said that? I can't believe she said that in the. Did she say that actually in
Yeah,
the monologue?
yeah, she did.
Oh my
Yeah, like
god.
it's just little details like that, which I think is really really cool. I
Okay.
didn't love the like other cameos of like Laurie Metcalf as Mrs. Loomis,
Yeah.
and like I wish they did more with that. I wish they were bigger parts of the film. I think if they had all the since they already had the actors, they also had Roman Bridger. Although it was fun like seeing them again. I'm a big fan of these movies, so part of me obviously is gonna be happy and
Yeah.
like excited to see them again. I did read somewhere that they were trying to get Mikey Madison back, Amber, to film, I guess, a scene for that as well, but she didn't want to come back. I think this movie was played a lot by that of like actors not wanting to return because of the controversy. So I just think Scream 7 was played a lot by behind the scenes things, and hopefully Scream 8 will be better from the get go. Which apparently Neve Campbell already pitched an idea for Scream 8, and I read somewhere maybe they're going to start filming in fall. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I would fuck with that. Another screen. Yeah, I do want to watch these movies again in theaters. I will say, very interesting theater experience. I don't know what yours was like, but when I went to the theater, you know, the movie started, and as per usual, there's like a group of fans behind me, and then they start like talking while like shit is happening on the movie. I'm annoyed, whatever, yada yada. But then, as the film goes on, like the like, you know, more people start talking in like more, I guess, appropriate films, when like, you know, like a kill is happening, or like, you know, like something with a lot of dramatic effect. That by the end of the film, like the whole theater was essentially having just one big conversation. Obviously not literally, but just the whole film, like the whole theater was like screaming like, "Run! Don't! Oh my god! Stop moving! Move! Like shoot! Whatever."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I
They're
and
great in theaters. They're so fun to watch in the theater.
For sure. And I was gonna say, like, I think this film, not this film, or yeah, this film and just Scream films in general have that very interesting sort of ability to make people, like, I guess, break convention and just like, you know, yell at the screen. I think that's something that is to be redeemed. And yeah, like at some point, you know, you have to be like, ooh, when like a really bad kill goes on, or like, you know, just
Yeah,
like when something hurts, or I think that
yeah,
the very visceral very visceral like energy this movie holds. It's something to be noted.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I
your movie theater
also quickly
experience
want to
was like,
mention.
especially with Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, it. So yeah, I saw it twice. The second time was awesome. Was film filled with fans, but that's like a biased opinion, biased experience. So I'm not gonna really talk about that because that was
Sure.
obviously as hype as would expect it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my first watching experience was just same as you. Everyone was like run or like whatever, like oh my god, gasping, whatever. Um, the film opens with Michael Batrami, which is like the composer for all the films, returns, and I thought it was a really nice touch. The film opened like with the Paramount logo, um, playing Sydney's Lament, which is like the name of the track of like Sydney's like theme song. Um, and I just thought that was like a really fun touch, like opening the film with that. Um, I don't know. I just there were so many like nice like auditorial like throwbacks. Like when Dewey shows up, like in the AI thing, like it plays Dewey's theme, which is my favorite theme in Scream. Um, I don't know. I really, obviously it's not a perfect film by any means, but it's so damn fun. It's so damn fun. It's so rewatchable. And I'm looking forward to seeing it again sometime soon because yeah, it was just such a great time. And I love Scream. Listen, I'm definitely not the most biased, voice in this conversation, but yeah,
Nah, bro, live your truth, bro. You love Scream, like that's valid as fuck. That's your opinion.
hell yeah, bro. W Scream.
What are you kind of like expecting with like a Scream 8, or what do you want from a Scream 8?
Um, what do I want from Scream 8? That's the thing is really they can take it in so many places. Um, but like I said, I would like it to focus on Gale. I think that'd be really cool.
Like, yeah, I think that's kind of what they were
And
trying to build up to a little bit too. Maybe I could see that happening.
yeah, in Scream 6, I mean, she literally says that like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is the first time we're talking on the phone." Like during Gale's like attack scene in Scream 6.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's like Gale and Ghostface really haven't interacted too much. So I think a Gale focused one could be really interesting. Maybe, be someone from Gale's past. That could be interesting. Um, I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see more Chad and I'm honestly looking forward to like getting like a group of like it seems that like the characters are gonna be like Chad, Mindy, and like Tatum. I wouldn't be upset about that like being the new trio, like
Mm-hmm.
the new Dewey, Gale, and Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to see. I think it's pretty cool.
And also, what do you think about Joel McHale?
Yeah, I talked to him
I,
already. I thought he was really cool. I thought he was fun.
yeah, yeah. As soon as I saw him, I
I'm
was like,
happy.
yeah,
I'm happy he survived.
yeah. I like that too. It makes Sydney's happy ending feel a little bit more resonant. I did think like as soon
Yeah.
as he came on screen, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna die or at least get really badly hurt.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to add. Do you?
Um, it's Scream 7 is I this isn't really a thing to add, but I think when I don't remember her name. What's this character's name? Mindy. When Mindy
Hmm.
mentioned how like everything is about like nostalgia now, and like that's what this movie is about. I think that's the best play. That's the best kind of way to
Yeah.
summarize this film.
And then Chad was like, we spoke about this that we wouldn't do the big monologue. I thought that was really funny. That was great.
No, for real. And then she was like,
I
okay, fine.
love Chad. I don't know. Chad has grown on me every time I've like watched the films and like rewatched them. Just Chad is
Hmm.
so cool. I would have been heartbroken if they killed Chad. He's like
In
becoming the new Dewey for me.
in general, the whole chemistry between Mindy and Chad is like really fun. It's like
They're
I really,
awesome. They're
yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
It's I really do hope they never. I would love, genuinely, if Isabella May Tatum Evans is our new Sydney, so be it. I would love a Tatum, Chad, and Mindy story, but I guess that would be too much like Scream 5 and 6, wouldn't it?
I hope
Maybe.
not. That'd be awesome. I fucking love Chad.
Yeah, no, same. Like genuinely, like I just want a story where like they're more focused in it again. I do. You know what? If they do make that Gale story, they could 100% be like side character, like more significant side characters because like they're working for her
Yeah,
now.
because yeah, exactly. Oh, that'd
Dude,
be great.
oh, that'd be such a goated movie. I would be day one pre-order for that shit.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I love this franchise, and I'm very excited to see where it's gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. I think Scream 8 could be big. I'm excited to see that on a
Yeah,
poster.
yeah. All right. So with that being said, that's it for episode 27 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you guys for joining. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We'll be back next week reviewing Pixar's newest outing, Hoppers. In the meantime, hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of Scream 7. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one.